Hello. As I related in my first video, a blood disorder was found during a routine blood test, and I went along then to a hematologist named Kobayashi at the Red Cross Hospital number 2 in Nagoya. This hematologist, in a very short time, without further testing, told me that I was too old to bear any treatment, hers perhaps, and it was better to go home and be comfortable. The diagnosis was MDS-AML leukemia. I asked, of course, the next reasonable question which anyone would ask: how long then might I have to live without any treatment? She said, very coldly and brightly, about 2 months. Well, the shock and grief is indescribable, of course. A family devastated, as you can imagine. I have witnesses to all the conversations with the doctors. The conversations were in Japanese. My husband, who is Japanese, spoke for me for the sake of precision. And we returned there for the result of the bone marrow biopsy, which takes a while to culture. And she said, "Oh, your red blood cells have not plummeted and your platelets are normal. Your disease may be slow developing, so you may live longer, maybe a year." After that, we got a second opinion, which was very positive, regarding the prognosis. The diagnosis was similar, not the same, but the prognosis was very positive. The disease treatable with a gentler form of chemo and the earlier introduction of new bone marrow. A positive prognosis for the extension of life. A doctor, before giving a sudden terrible death sentence to a new patient, should be absolutely sure of such a prognosis. She knew nothing of my general condition, my functional age, that I don't have no diabetes, no heart disease, no high blood pressure, and so on. My husband stayed home for 3 weeks to be with me for our final weeks, as we thought, our final days. He lost a lot of money from his business. We talked of things such as funeral arrangements. Excuse me. Probably the worst part was telling my loved ones, who were devastated. Some people with such a prognosis might have committed suicide. Later, our family doctor, who'd referred us to this Kobayashi, told us that Kobayashi had never said, "You have 2 months to live," but that she had said, "Come back in 2 months." This is absolute lies. There's no confusion about this. It's a very simple conversation. Absolute lies. She never said come back at all. This irresponsible, cruel, giggling child woman ruined our lives. I will not sue for malpractice, for emotional distress and psychological disturbance and all the rest of it, which I would definitely succeed in the USA or the UK. I will instead leave her and all who lie for her and hurt and deceive vulnerable patients to God's terrible judgment on the last day.